Alrighty, hey traders, John Howell here today with you. Today, market update across the stock market, what's happening there. Going to be looking at all the different, some of like the energy sector and so on and so forth. We'll be looking at the mining stocks, silver and gold, and what I believe when it comes to that, the mining stocks, stuff like that, is I believe we are getting ready to produce one of the greatest buying opportunities we have seen in a long time. And then also, if I do remember, so please do remind me, I'm going to give you guys a bit of a plan. If you're interested in becoming a really successful trader, like for long term, and you're not just in it for the get rich quick scheme, then I'm going to give you guys a bit of a plan for you guys to follow. And I promise you, if you do follow this plan, then you're going to absolutely crush it in the markets, and I promise you. So anyway, guys, let's actually get straight into it. Don't place a trade based on what you're seeing in this video, because there is no guarantees of making a profit in the market. It takes you a long time to become a good trader. So this video here is just to educate you to become a much better trader. Alrighty, traders. So with that being said about the plan that I want to share with you, make sure you click on that link in the description or go to johnsfreegift.com. As you can see, the trading course you see on the screen, it's a result of free, right? That's right, absolutely, F-R-E-E. So free it is. Let's continue into the stocking market now. So the good old stocking market, we are still in this overall massive long-term wedgie. We are squeezing up into this really big long-term wedgie. And this wedgie here, right? You know, sometimes like when I was at school, right? Especially me, I was a fat kid, real fat kid. And then they used to really just ramp it up. Sometimes like snap the elastic in my underwear, right? Snap. And so like that's exactly what's happening right now, right? The market's getting squeezed, and it's about to snap. Now, a lot of people in the good old chatty box, right? That little comment section below, a lot of people think that this rising wedge here is bearish in the markets and we're about to see a free fall. You know what? You may be right, but let the market tell you what's going on. Because here's the story. If we do end up breaking out of this to the downside, then if we break out to the downside, then yes, we're probably likely to see a good nice correction in the stock market, maybe a 5 or 10% drop out of the market if we do drop below. But right now, as we speak, if you think this is bearish, you are trading based on your thoughts, based on your hopes, and based on what you think is a good idea, and not what the market is telling you. What is the market saying right now? The market is saying we are still in an upward overall trend. And just like every bumblebee throughout this entire year, who every time we have made a new high, oh, the top's in, new high, oh, the top's in, new high, the top's in, new high, top's in, new high, right? So every time we've been in this new high, just like back here, and I guarantee you, even back here, people are like, oh, the market's in a rising wedge, it's going to drop down, it's not going to drop down, I'm going to go short, all right? So please, in this environment, it's important for us to not throw our thoughts. Like even I don't know, right? I don't know which way it's going to break. Now, my money is actually along these markets, and I see by the end of this year, we're going to see a lot higher prices. That's what I see. But right now, we are in an upward trend. And if you're trying to short this market and think that this is bearish, you're trading based on what you think and what you hope and what you think you know. So all I say is that as long as we continue to stay in this upward trend, just like all the people who have been shorting it and people are getting completely wiped out because of this, you don't want to be going in their shoes, okay? You don't want to be going in their shoes. So right now, we are continuing to be in a very strong upward movement. We're getting a little bit of a pullback today, but remember, if we do break out, we start to break below this high here, that's when it's going to be sort of a game changer in the market. But until that happens, it's play ball with the bulls. We could be getting another one of these. Guess what, guys? See this little down day here today? We could be getting another down day tomorrow. Just like it did here, just like it did here, just like it did here. And then suddenly turns around and suddenly breaks out and we go through absolutely massive parabolic move. Now, listening to the herd mentality out there in the markets, I am still hearing so many people saying we're overstretched. This is the biggest bubble in history. The market's going to crash. You know, all this sort of stuff out there. Now, if you've been around the markets for probably the last 10 or so years and you really studied and analyzed it, you'll know the voices, right? There is voices that happen at the tops of markets and there are voices that happen at the bottom of markets. Bottom here, tops and bottoms, okay? What are the voices at the tops of markets? The voices are, or am I the only one that hears the voices? No. And no, when I talk about the voices, guys, it's talking about like when you see all over YouTube, the headlines, the media, okay? What are the voices at the top of the markets? The voices at the top of the markets, which also goes inside of Warren Buffett, which is when people are greedy, be fearful. When people are fearful, be greedy. What is the voices we hear at the top of the markets? Well, if we just go look at what happened with Bitcoin. The first time Bitcoin in 2017, when Bitcoin went to 20,000, guess what? As soon as it got to 17,000, 18,000, you had even the news come on and start to put the Bitcoin ticker up there, right? You know, they had the Bitcoin ticker and everyone was getting involved with it. My ex-wife even said, should I look at Bitcoin, right? And then the news media said, you know, this seems like it's an easy way to make money, all this sort of stuff. And it went from 17 to 20 and then eventually down to 3 or 4, right? So that's, as you can see, right, that's the noises, that's the voices, that's what we hear in the overall environment of topping voices, okay? So, but what do we hear in the bottom of markets? Oh my goodness, this is never going to rally. This is going to fall through the floor. You're an idiot if you want to buy this market. You know, it's so overextended. The market's going to crash. The market's going to crash. The market's going to crash, right? Because people are always late to there. So that's where, like, when people are fearful, be greedy. And when people are greedy, be fearful. And exactly like when Bitcoin went from 60 or 10,000 up to 60,000, as soon as we went from 10,000 to 60,000, I had so many people. I had an old friend of mine who very successful, $750,000 in 1 year from network marketing. But he said to me on the phone when Bitcoin was at 62,000, I think it was. He said, "Oh, we've got to be in Bitcoin because you know it's only going to go up." I'm like, "What? Wait, time out. What did you just say?" This guy has no idea about the markets. He has no idea about the trading. I'm like, okay. And then suddenly I'm hearing my, now this is the voices, right? This is the voices that tops the markets. Oh, you know, it's only going to go up. You got to be in right now. All right. Then suddenly my friend at the gym, he was like, "Oh man, I made $500,000 trading the markets. Oh my goodness. Oh, geez, this thing's, this thing's." And then I had another lady friend. She has no idea about cryptos or the markets or how they work or how they operate or anything like that. And then guess what happened? And then suddenly she's like, "Well, I'm in the crypto market right now. What do you think I should do?" And I'm like, oh my goodness, we're at the top of the market. And guess what happened? Within a few weeks of that happening, we started to form the top. And then obviously we halved in Bitcoin. And you know, the voices went suddenly quiet around the crypto market. So you can hear the voices, right? You hear the people out there. When things are going really well, people think that's going to keep going forever. So you start to hear these voices. Oh my goodness, you should be in this market. You should be in. That's what we're probably going. That's the voices you're going to hear in the stock market in probably 6 or so months' time. Probably by the end of this year, you're going to be hearing on the newsletter, "Oh, you know, markets went up now, you know, markets up again, you know, 64 consecutive days in a row, you know," and then you're suddenly going to start to hear these people making millions of dollars from trading the markets, and how these young kids are making so much money, and this market's in a bull market and nothing can stop the market, and all these really like, oh my goodness, you got to be all in, like all this sort of stuff. That's the voices. Remember, just like we heard when Bitcoin, just like we heard in the obviously with Bitcoin when in 2017 when it went to 20,000, and then last year when it went to 65,000, or was that this year? I don't know. What year was that? That was this year. Last year. So I hope you can see, guys, that the voices I'm still hearing, even though technically we're bullish, but the voices are still saying, oh, the biggest bubble in history, and the crash is going to come, and all this sort of stuff, right? All this sort of stuff. So that's not, to me, that's not the voices you want to hear at tops of markets, because the herd mentality is always wrong. So with that being said, guys, I believe we are just getting started. We're here. We're not up here yet. But by the end of this year, I believe we're going to start to hear something like this. And that's going to be my little QQQQ to get out of the QQQ and the SPY. So, but I'm still long right now. And I'll be watching that as well too. So I hope you could see, guys, that the herd mentality, if just by listening to it and seeing what's happening, when people are really fearful, as they are right now, the market's going to crash. Oh my goodness, I'm short in the market. Oh, I'm going to be long. Oh, you should be in this market. It's never going to go down. You know, it's only going to go up. All right, I'm getting out. Right? So I hope you can see that through there. So let's actually now continue on through the mining stock sector. And as I said before at the start of this video, I truly believe we are getting ready for one of the greatest buying opportunities we've seen in a long time. The reason why, guys, is because I see we are going to be experiencing one of the greatest bull markets we've ever seen in history. And I don't just say that lightly, but I really do mean that out of the mining sector. I believe, if you look back, if you're in 2025 and you look back, you're like, oh my goodness, look at the mining sector go. Everything's going nuts. Everything's going crazy. So looking at where we're at right now, this market as it's sort of coming down, this is the GDXJ, looking at the GDX as well too, we're almost breaking below this low here. So I believe we're probably likely to see something like this, bit of a flush down. Now, if we do get the flush down and then we get a bit of sideways movement and then we get back up again, guess what? The greatest buying opportunity we are going to get. And then I believe this right here, if we do get this, guess what? It's probably going to be a significant low for a long time in the market. And then we're going to start to do something like this, up and down, how bull markets go. All right. Please don't ever think, and I think it's sometimes, especially the newbies don't really understand this, because they see GameStop do that. They think every big bull market's like that. It's like, nah, that's like 1 in a million. So the reality of big bull markets is they go up, they have a bit of pullbacks, they go up, just like the S&P 500 right now. All right, goes up, pull back, goes up, pull back, and so on and so forth. And also even looking at things like silver, right? Silver is, again, same sort of thing with silver. Right now, we're almost at the level where we could be getting something like that soon. If we do, and we hold, and we start to get something like a little V bottom type of action, then once again, this is going to be one of the greatest buying opportunities we've seen in the metals for quite some time. Because then if that does happen, and we start to get this sort of reversal here, then I have a target in silver all the way up to, actually, let me just looks like I've just reversed that. So if we can get that little reversal pattern, which is a flush down, hold, and then a break back up again, then if we get that here, then I have a target up here at around that 35, 36 level. So we get that here, 25, then I believe we're on our way up to there. And once we get to that 25, sort of 36 level up there, it's probably going to pause for a bit. And then we're probably going to be off to the races. We're probably likely to see at least $100 silver over the next 2 or 3 months as we see this mining boom that we're getting ready. So get ready, guys. Fortunes will be made in the good old markets. Guess what? No one wants to be part of the mining stocks right now. Everyone's fleeing the mining stocks. Everyone's like, oh, I'm getting out of mining stocks. Guess what? When Bitcoin was at 60,000, they're like, why the hell am I holding mining stocks? I'm going to sell my mining stocks and I'm going to get into Bitcoin. And even that went down. They instead of just losing maybe 10%, maybe 15, 20% of their portfolio on a pullback in the mining sector, they went to Bitcoin and lost 50%. So I know you guys, the crypto market are, yo, John, shut up. You have no idea what you're talking about. Really? Tell me what I'm saying right now is not true. Especially the facts about what I'm saying here right now. So that's what I wanted to share with you when it comes to these markets. And now, as promised, guys, I want to give you guys a bit of a plan that I know that if you follow it, you're going to absolutely crush it this year. Now, probably only 3% of you guys maybe follow this for the rest of your life and do really, really well. Now, I'm not talking about people. When I say a plan, I'm not going to give you a trading system. There's thousands of different methods out there that work, right? But here's the thing. The first thing you must have is a system. Well, let's actually call it a pattern, right? A pattern, P-A-T-T. I think that's how you spell pattern anyway, right? So a pattern. Find a pattern, right? Whatever pattern that you like. It could be anything. It could be a breakout. It could be buying low, selling high, like whatever, right? It could be a triangle pattern. It could be triangle patterns. It could be channel patterns. It could be double tops, double bottoms. Like find something, right? Find something in the markets that you want to follow. Because this is called the system. This is 5% of your success. And for you guys that actually really want to do really well, like for the rest of your life in the markets, then this is the path moving forward, okay? So the first thing is find something that you actually want to do really, 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 really well at. Call it a pattern, okay? Then the second thing is what you want to do is you want to get some data, right? Get some data behind that pattern. So why don't you go and collect, and what you want to do is, and what I tell my private clients is I tell them to take screenshots, right? So take a little screenshot, little screenshot of this particular pattern here. And what you want to do is you want to get as many screenshots as possible of that one pattern. And you'll be able to see, okay, so with this one particular pattern, and again, guys, most of you guys that are watching this video right now think it's the trading system that's going to do really well for you. It's not. Oh, but John, I need a successful system. Guys, every system out there works. They really do. You've just got to learn how to work it. You've got to learn how to work it. And most of you guys don't follow a system 100% of the time. So that's the reason why you suck at it. And then you're risking too much and so on and so forth. So find some data, right? Get some data, take some screenshots, and then sort of get an average sort of win-loss ratio that's happening behind there, okay? What's the average win-loss ratio? Some are losing, some are profits, so on and so forth, right? So you're going to get some data. Then thirdly, you're going to start trading live. But when you start trading live, you're going to have like a 0.05% risk on your account. You're going to do that, right? Why? Because you're probably going to make a lot of mistakes. You're going to get into things that you shouldn't, and then you're going to hop into trades and not sure how to manage it. But you want to start off really, 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 really small. And you want to do that for a month, okay? And then at the end of that month, at the end of all those trades, you want to go back and you want to, when you do trade live, you want to make sure you're recording it. So record it into a spreadsheet, okay? Here's all the trades I've taken in the last 30 days. Blah, 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 blah. All the trades I've taken in the last 30 days. Then number 4, you want to record it, but then you want to review it. And when you're reviewing it, how many trades, all right? How many trades actually did I take that actually met this pattern here? And how many trades didn't? Because if you are taking anything other than this pattern here, then what are you doing? You shouldn't be taking that. You find one thing you want to work out and stick to that. And that's where most of you guys go wrong. You're trying to get in right now without any pattern, without any proven plan. Oh, I'm going to go long here because it sounds like a good idea. Wrong. You're going to, you guys are doing that right now. 12 months from now, you'll be out of the market anyway. The market will take your money and probably your house as well. and then you won't, oh, the market wasn't for me and the market burnt me and so on, all this sort of terminology bullshit that you use, right? But no, the market didn't burn you, you burned you, right? But this is how you start to get really well, right? So you record, review, and improve. And then while you're reviewing how many times is the pattern there, what you're looking to do is you ask yourself, okay, how can I improve? Maybe it's got to do with my trade management. Maybe I'm trying to hold on for too big of a profits, and I'm seeing that 80% of the time these things run on for, maybe when you're trading options, maybe it's okay, on average these things are running on for 30-40% profits. And this is the average time, this is the average length, right? You're starting to improve. How can you improve? So you record every single trade, you review it. Firstly is how many times you're taking the pattern. And then when it comes to the pattern, how can you improve? And then guess what? Then that improvement is then you focus on the next month. And on the next month, you go do the exact same thing again. You do the 0.5%. And you take all the next 30 days, you're still at that level there. You may have taken some trades that you shouldn't have, and so on and so forth. Now, as you can see, guys, the very first start of it, it's not a very fast process. It's not, because what you're doing is you're teaching yourself what to look for, what's working, what's not working, and what to focus on. And then guess what? You do that for the second month, and you do that for the third month. And after the third month of doing this, you've had 90 days of trading this pattern. You start to see for yourself, not for me, you start to see for yourself what's actually working, right? And then obviously, when it comes to your losses, like what are the average losses? What are the average profits? And also within this pattern, what are the best patterns? You might have this pattern, but what are the best type of setups within this pattern that I'm looking for? What is the structure of the pattern that works the best? And then as you improve and as you go through this, so this is your first 3 months of trading. But then guess what? Now instead of doing like that should be 5%, so like 0.5%. So then before you know it, then suddenly that's your third month. Then suddenly your fourth month. Now you're doing 1% risk on your account. Right? And you're still trading. And then before you know it, you start to become more confident. Now you start to put on 2% risk of your account, and things start to do really, really, really well from there. You're trading a lot. And before you know, you could be making 10% return on your account per month on average. And before you know it, you're doing 40-50% return on your account per year. And then it grows and grows and grows and grows from there. And before you know it, 3, 4, 5, 6 years from now, because this is actually what happened to me. Once I actually went through this process and I found the pattern that I worked for. And by the way, guys, in that free trading course, I share with you the trading system. But if you think that's the thing that's the bee's knees, the duck's guts, and all that sort of stuff, that's the thing that's going to make you successful. It's not. What I'm going through here right now, 5% of your success is the system, and people don't understand that. 95% is you actually sticking to it, knowing that you're going to have losses. That's where 95%, you guys that are not doing really well, you find something, you jump into it with 50% risk on your account in one trade, that's actually a loss, and you're like, oh, this thing doesn't work. Like, no, that's not how long-term trading works. Long-term trading works is you have a pattern, and 95% of your success is you sticking to that thing only, not all this other bullshit. But then when you stick to that thing only, just admit up front that some of the trades you're taking right now can be losses, and that's just part of the nature. And that's where most of you guys are not doing really well right now. You're trying to hope and pray that this is going to be a successful trade. Get into the damn thing. Stop trying to think you know what's going to happen, because you don't. Take the trades. Stop thinking. Do your job. Some of them are going to be losses. Most are going to be profits. Rinse, recycle, repeat. You get better with your risk management and your trade management of letting your profits run. You get better at identifying the best type of patterns that actually work for you. And before you know it, you do that. And then suddenly 2, 3, 4 years down the track, you're like, oh my goodness, John, I'm now a 6-figure trader from trading because I went through this process. But if you're one of these traders, which most of you guys are, and I don't feel sorry for you, if you're looking for that quick tip, you're looking for that next GameStop, right? Or you're looking for the next Bitcoin, big move up, and you're all in, YOLO, oh, I'm all in. No, guys, long-term success was not all in. Because I promise you, you may be all in right now. What I'm all about is helping you to be successful for the rest of your life. Because, okay, let's just say, for example, you got into Bitcoin at 5,000 and it ran up to 60,000 and you made all this money. Oh my goodness, I made $1 million. Okay, you made $1 million. Now go do it again. I don't know how to, John. Do you see what I'm saying there? And before you know it, what ends up happening? Because you YOLO'd into the very first position and you made all this money, you think you know it all. Guess what's going to happen? The very next trade you get into, not only do you YOLO in the markets, but now you're on leverage because you're so smart, right? Now, oh my goodness, if I could use leverage in this next one, it's going to go to the moon. And before you know it, not only is the very next trade completely wiped you out, you're in from $1 million in profits to now owing the brokerage $100,000 because the market moves so fast against you on margin, you got taken out, and now you actually owe the brokerage $100,000 and you're absolutely broke. You see what I'm saying there, guys? I want you guys to be successful for the rest of your life, and how you do that is exactly what I'm saying here. It's not the pattern you have to worry about; it's you. Yes, there's a lot of things that happen in the industry right now, but if you sign up to a course and then something you don't do the work of you actually figure out what the pattern is, what does the setup look like, and then start to get some data behind it, and then when you do start to trade live, understanding that the first few months you're probably going to make a lot of mistakes. You probably get into a trade that you think is that actually looks like a pattern, but it's not really. It's not until you look back like, oh man, that wasn't even a pattern. So guys, I want you guys to kick ass for the rest of your life. But that's where I say 97% of you guys are the latter. You're always you're looking for these YouTube videos to find out exactly the best time to get in right now. You're looking for me to tell you on the YouTube video, now's the time to buy and now's the time to sell. Well, guess what? I could say buy right now and then sell tomorrow, but it could be a loss. Guess what? That's okay. I take losses all the time. I keep them small, and then something, like I had a loss today. What are that? I actually had a couple losses today. I had a 17% loss and a 25% loss, right? But I had those today. But guess what? That's a loss of that. But that total loss is maybe 2% loss on my account. Now, why is that important? Because I'm in trades right now that when they do work out, they're going to be up probably 70%, 100%, which is going to grow my account, 5-6%. So I lost 2%, and then suddenly the next trade I'm up, 5 or 6%. Before you know it, my account's growing in the right direction again, and that's within all within 1 or 2 months. See what I'm saying there, traders? So I hope this helped you out. 97% of you bumblebees out there right now. This is not going to make a lick of difference to you. But my hope, anyway, of sharing over the last 16 years of being involved with the markets, this is the stuff that I've learned when it comes to you successful trading in the markets. And so if you are one of those 3%, that 3% of you right now actually still watch this video. So I want you to put the words in the chat box below. Golden opportunity, because I believe that the mining sector is going to produce a golden opportunity. Hey traders, I'm giving away 100% free access to my brand new breakthrough full trading course. This is 8 videos over 10 hours of pure amazing and powerful strategies. This is my most powerful systems and strategies that I've used for the last 16 years, and I'm giving it away for free. So this is what I want you to do right now. I want you to go to johnsfreegift.com, or there should be a link around here somewhere, a button or in the description or somewhere in there. Click on that and you can go get free access to my brand new breakthrough trading course. So go to johnsfreegift.com right now. Go do that right now, guys. You can get full, complete, free membership access. Go do that right now.